Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Dominions 4 Multiplayer Showdown, episode 22, turn 33. My name is Sabouts of the Ashen Empire. Let's begin. We've got a long list of things to go through here. Some happy, some sad. Let's start with the first one, a sad one. So, Asphodel sends a message out to everybody. Our leaves droop and roots shrink. Our hold on these lands have wilted away. Our vine beasts return to the soil, and our carrion lords spread into dust. Just remember, from a hidden dormant seed, a vine can sprout. Good luck to you all. So he's out of the game pretty much. I'm pretty sure this is his last turn. That kind of sucks. Unfortunately, I was a little bit too late. I did get into contact with him to see what was going on. That's when I pretty much heard the grim news that he was pretty much out of the game. And whether or not I could have had an impact on that, I probably could have, but it's a little too late now, and no point in really dwelling on it. I'm somewhat concerned about this because I guess from what I've heard from him, he was being attacked by three people, Shanu, Man, and Ulm, but I guess it turned into Shanu and Mam for a little bit, and Ulm kind of backed off to go fight in a war with Agartha. Those people obviously are probably going to turn their attention towards me now, because Fodl is a pretty big threat, especially Dwarf Comic, because he was the winner of our last cycle with this game. So with him out of the game, I'm hoping that people don't think of me as too large of a threat right now. Maybe they don't fully know what I'm fielding or where I'm going, and hopefully they'll fight among each other. I think that Vanheim is ultimately one of the larger threats because he has what I would assume he has a decent amount of thrones. Agartha as well being somewhat of a threat. But yes, Asphodel out of the game. Shanu's definitely going to probably turn his attention towards me, especially because he's fought alongside Man. With Vanheim and Ulm at war with Agartha, I can kind of secure myself there and assume that my southern borders are a little bit more protected, but northern we're going to have a little bit of an issue. So we'll have to kind of plan ourselves for that. And I may have to get in contact with Agartha and maybe see if he's looking towards, especially with everybody I think going to be ganging up on him, especially Man probably turning his attention towards him, considering that Ulm, Vanheim, and Man are probably, I would assume, pretty good allies. Agartha might be in some trouble, and I don't want to make the same mistake with Agartha as I did with Asphodel, so I may reach out to him and see, maybe not a full alliance, but maybe like a non-aggression pact that could be somewhat, maybe we can help each other. You know, we don't have to announce an alliance, but helping each other might not be a bad idea. Okay, so that's enough about that. We've got our lictors. There was a battle. I don't think, yeah, there was nothing there, so no point in watching the battle. We just took the water province. Unexpected event. So this is pretty interesting. We had long live the king of old, the king of the mound rises to join your cause. So we've got a mound king. We're going to take a look at that. And then suddenly, Pruchuscator, however you want to say that, the Dusk Elder appeared at the gates of your castle and wanted to fight for your cause. So we've got a Dusk Elder, which we could take a look at as well. That makes me pretty happy. Wow, he looks like a pretty awesome Dusk Elder. Wow, yeah, look at that. 2, 3, and 4. Great research there. Not bad at all. We could probably take a look at some spells here. Raise Dead, Raise Skeleton, Astral Healing. See, Flaming Arrows. So is he 1 away? He's still 2 away. Unfortunate that the 3 couldn't have been that, because Flaming Arrows would have been a little bit more in my reach. But 3 Astral's not bad. I mean, definitely happy to have him. The average Dusk Elder, looking at pretty basic 20, so he's definitely a little bit bigger for research. Strength, hit points, okay. Now to take a look back at army setup though. Other than Astral, he's got Astral Healing and Anti-Magic. And Astral Healing, oh, hold on. I don't have... Takes an Astral Pearl. Yeah, it doesn't help. The spell doesn't affect lifeless beings, which makes sense. So we'll go ahead and do probably just animate raise skeletons for now till we get some better spells, but he's still pretty good nonetheless. Oh. He's definitely still good to have. At least two, we've got him to do more research, which I think is pretty awesome. Actually, real quickly, forge magic items. Is there anything he can make? Rod of the Leper King. Build, lead more of the undead and will grant the ability to those previously unable to do so. Fortunately, the wearer will become diseased unless undead himself. Okay, what do we got here? Doom. Flame focus. Truly fearsome weapon. Those close to where it strikes will be cursed for the rest of their lives. Those lives will be very short, though, as the victims will also age and die within minutes. Wow, that's really powerful. Could be useful. Just seeing what else there is. Nothing else really, but that's still some pretty good stuff. Naturally sharp will cause anyone cut by its razor edge to bleed profusely. The blade's supernatural sharpness also allows it to bypass any armor. There's some pretty good things here that we should probably craft and give to some units. Here is the Mound King. Not bad. He's okay. He's really not that special. I'm happy to have him nonetheless. I don't think he's much better than this guy, which he isn't. Still, though, we'll put him on research for now. I think that's going to help. Let's go ahead and we got 23. So we're going to cast our Lictor spell again. That's always pretty important to continue doing that. Lots of units still showing up. We'll go ahead and throw these Lictors here. Yeah, we were moving. Oh, wow, he actually showed up with an army, which is cool. That's different. I like that. So let's do that there. Man, that's awesome. Glad he showed up with an army. Move some units. Just for the sake of moving units. Yeah, we'll go ahead, I guess, and give him a bunch of units. Morale doesn't really matter, so we'll just flesh him out with a nice army. He'll be useful then, especially because he's got all amphibious units. We may as well go ahead. Really, yeah, just stay behind troops. Line formation up in the front. Set these guys up off to the side. I guess I'll keep them around him, but we'll move them up a little bit. We're going to go ahead and fire closest enemy. Just do fire. And set them to attack the rearmost enemies, because that does seem to help. And these guys are just going to attack the closest enemies. I should switch that up. Actually, hold and then attack closest enemies. Make sure, yeah, big blob up in the front. Might as well put you up there with them. Okay, cool. What else do we got here to do? So we got the Pearl Farm, the Coral Reef. We'll go ahead and set him to search for magic sites, and we'll just defend that province for now. Alright, where is my spy? We'll move him. The rest of our army's here. A good amount of it. We can get it a little bit better consolidated, I believe. How are we looking for units spawning on these provinces? Alright, not bad. And here I know we're doing pretty good. Yeah, that's nice. We could actually go ahead and, oop, what the heck? There we go. Do that. The rest of these I'll just leave here for now, as I think about how I want to do that, how I want to move those units around. Everybody else is researching. Okay. For research, we're still working on enchantment. 131, we're looking at, you know, 3 more turns. If I can get that up a little bit more, 3 more. 3 more turns, and that'll be enchantment level 5. That's going to be pretty good. We definitely still need to work on getting more Dusk Elders, especially here, which, by the way, we've got him here. And he's going to hopefully get us a magic item. That's kind of why I sent him there. We already looked for magic sites, and he don't have anything special to find anything. So he really can't do anything unless I put him to construct something. What do we... 623. Still don't have enough to build another fort. We probably won't for a little bit. Building a lab seems like a really good idea. So I could do research here. But I don't know. A temple too would be nice because it would really hurt Shanu. There's his army there. How can I see that? I've got a spy somewheres or what? I've got one here. Oh, right on their throne. And he did take that throne. There's man right there. Yikes. And Ulm. So Shanu is dead. Vacation temple. Okay, and there's 130 and 110. So pretty good sized armies. I've never fought these units before. I don't know what to expect from it. Shark Knights and Triton Troopers. So that's probably a pretty good sized army. It's held by Vanheim. It's a throne. And I can attack it from here. Okay, I'll have to think about that. I'd like to have a throne. I'm going to reach out to Agartha, see if I can take these 2 provinces and have them. And I really want this throne here, and I think I should have it. But I don't want to branch out and attack too many people at once. That's going to be risky. I've got these 2. I'm happy to have them. We'll keep them for now. And we don't want to get nuts. I'm going to move these 2 units back to here, and that's what will allow me to flesh them out a little bit larger with these units here. We'll move our scout in over here so I can get an idea of what's going on. We'll leave everybody here to defend for now until I figure out what's going on. Let's go ahead and do a little bit of consolidating with all of this because that's ultimately why I have all these like random units here. So, because I don't want everybody really doing what they're doing. So, obviously he can get a bunch of these. We'll set the battle orders in a bit. Why don't we have a Mound King with just these useless, for the most part, useless undead units. They're essentially like just cannon fodder. They just absorb attacks is what they do. Okay, like this guy here, he don't need all of this. This can get fleshed out here. This guy, same thing. And then I can send these Mound Kings off to collect troops from other locations. Like this guy, like I don't really need so many. It's good to have a couple commanders, you know, just in case a commander dies, I can move forces around, but I don't want to go nuts. So we'll do like that. That gives me 3 decent commanders, plus my Dusk Elder and Acolyte. And then 3 forces, and then I've got here. So I've got Grave Screech, Plague Soul, and Nightbane. So Nightbane, it's Nightbane, Grave Screech, Plague Soul. Those guys don't have any units. So let's just do this real easy. We'll do that, that, and that. And that'll help us move some units around. We'll keep the rest of the units here. These guys, oops. Like so, you and you will all be together. And we've got him set up to sneak. Let me go ahead now, make sure I've got battle units set, just in case we got attacked or something. We'll have everything set up. Guard commander, attack closest. Actually, such you to attack the closest enemy because you're pretty worthless guarding the commander, and just have them set up to do that. We're not going to go nuts. We'll back them up a little bit. They'll be kind of you know, to go in a little bit last. Fire at the closest enemy. We'll set them off to the side, kind of. Set them to attack closest enemy. Line formation up in the front. On discipline, they're just going to be a nice blob, and why don't we put them kind of off to the side here, and then we'll take these guys, attack closest enemy. We'll have them as a big blob off to this side, right? Attack closest. Actually, I'm sorry. Oh, they can only be in skirmish, yeah, so off to that side. We put these guys in a small line formation like that. My dog's barking. Okay, and let's do, yeah, attack rear. So they're set up the way I want them set up, but we want to move them. Off like that, right? No, maybe not. We definitely want them behind this. I want these knights to absorb an attack, so these guys can kind of maneuver around them, and I'll even set them to attack the rear. But I want them to hold and attack the rearmost enemies. So that way they'll hold a turn. These guys can kind of move in and kind of engage whatever forces are here, and hopefully these guys can move around them. But these guys attack the closest up in the front. That's what I want. These guys, and then a second rank in the back. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that. And then again, these guys are just going to move away. He's going to go ahead and scout. We've got some unholy protection and raised skeleton here. Let's definitely make sure he's up in the front with our lictors raising skeletons. We don't want him behind getting caught up. And the same with you. Move up in the front, casting all sorts of blessings. I'm happy with that. I think it's not bad. And really, realistically, if we wanted to, these guys are going to wait a turn here anyway, so why don't we transport some more units over, maybe. I don't really have another commander here worth, like, I can move this over there if I wanted to, but I don't want to do that. I want to leave some troops here depending on how this goes down here. So, like, I can move units from here, I guess. But I really wanted to move some more lictors is what I wanted to do. Well, how long would these guys be here for? I'm going to reach out to Shanu and have a conversation with him, I think, before I make any crazy moves. I don't want to bring down the wrath of him, Ulm, Vanheim, and Man at the same time, so I've got to play my cards safe. I don't want to bring anything down like that until I'm ready. So, with that being said, we've got 78 lictors. We're going to keep casting them. We already got revived lictors set up to revive some more. How many do we have here? Again, I don't remember. We've got 24 lictors. Well, 24 is a lot. I'd like to have, 34 maybe, right? 10 more. He just went down there with some wits. And we should get some more of these too. They're good underwater units. You should really just stay like that so they can all be in the same blob. We're just going to search real quick and then that'll be the end of that. Also, do that. So I've got it. Okay. Yeah, I'd say if I was going to do it that way, I'd want to... Yeah, let's move him here. He can move some lictors back and forth or something. He's not doing anything else here. He's just an empty unit. And I'm okay with what's here now. You're not supposed to be there. Because this... Okay, that's all he can have. This area here is super defended because I've got all these units here that are one turn away. Okay, research, we're going to keep it as is. Construction level 4 is something I'd like to go for at some point, and I'm 380 away. Let's just focus on the enchantment, though. Let's just focus on getting enchantment level 5. And then we can mess around from there. Okay, what's left? We've got some astral pearls. We can convert them to death gems, so we might do that. But if we're going to do that, let's see what we want to cast, right? So we've got him. He's researching. Depending on what spells we're going to cast, decide how we want to go about this. I'd like to, let's see what you can do for me. You know, a Dusk Eldar seems like a good idea. You're looking at, what, 20 gems, though. So we're not going to be able to do that. Could do another Spectator, and we've got the 12 gems to do it. There's a couple other stuff here. We know Lictorian Guard's not really worth it anymore. The Wits, 20, we're not going to get 20 out of the 9 Astral Gems anyways. Behemoth is 10 if we wanted to get a Behemoth. Because they're probably pretty cool, and if we started getting a couple of these, they'd probably be pretty useful. If we got like a group of like 4 or 5 of them, that would be like, that would really hurt the enemy. But is it worth wasting the gems on? Because ultimately, working down enchantment, I mean, definitely death gems right now are definitely our biggest crutch. Working down the enchantment list, you know, we're going to get Pale Rider, Horde of Skeletons. The research is pretty important. So getting more Spectators and Dusk Elders seem like a good idea, because eventually I want to get down here to like a Morian Legion and even further down. Well, really the rest of this doesn't... Army of Dead, Fields of Dead, but we're way away from that. Mainly like... And level 5 is what I want just for the Horde of Skeletons and the Pale Riders. I don't know. I guess we're 3 turns away from that. If I got one more, right? So I got one more. You're talking 12. Yeah, let's go ahead and get another Spectator. And then maybe we can start working at Behemoths a little bit, depending on if I find more sites that produce death gems. We'll just see what happens the next 2 or 3 turns, because the next 2 or 3 turns are going to be pretty crucial to how the rest of the game plays out for me, depending on where I can expand next, because I've kind of pushed my luck here. Shinu basically said, okay, yeah, I'm going to let you have these 2, because he's being kind of nice to me. But he doesn't really want me touching anything else, which I understand, so this whole thing might be a no-go. Until I feel I'm ready to do something like that, because these guys are all pretty powerful, and if they all gang up on me, I mean, Esvadel even, he told me, Dwarf Comic told me, he said there's nothing he could do because he was fighting on 3 different fronts, and he said it was a mess. I mean, you're never powerful enough to take on 3 players, you know, if they coordinate well, and you know, sometimes you can, but it's tough. I'm in no position to do it yet. Maybe eventually. My armies have gotten pretty large, and I don't think any one player right now could wipe me out, because I am pretty large and I've gotten pretty powerful. I'm sure they could really push me back, but I don't think anybody could wipe me from the game at this point. A well-coordinated attack from multiple players could, but I don't think one single player could take me out. Because even if they got all the way to my capital again, if I consolidated all my forces on my capital, I could just attack out and break any siege pretty much. Because they wouldn't even be able to put a large army here. They'd have to have like a ton of like cauldrons and stuff. It just wouldn't even be worth it. So, but these are things to think about. Either way, Astral Pearls, I'll just keep building those up for now. I'll turn them into Death Gems when I think it's going to be beneficial. We're going to get another 16. Next turn, we'll cast our Lictors again, and maybe we'll sacrifice 1, and maybe we'll start building up some Behemoths, or maybe we'll start saving up, and we'll keep Lictors coming, but maybe we'll get a few Wits here too, because they are powerful underwater units. If we look here, you know, they're underwater, and they're pretty good. So, rusty equipment though. So that kind of sucks. Oh well. Everybody's kind of getting that because they're hanging underwater. Oh well. As is what happens. So, yeah, we'll probably go ahead and leave the water anyways next turn. Once I do my search real quick, we're going to move back out to here. But yeah, some more wits and whatnot would be pretty useful. But I don't know. I feel like if I got like 5 of those behemoths over time, I feel like that'd be pretty significant. But you know, do I want 5 behemoths or 5 Dusk Elders? Do I want the research? It's hard to say at this point. What I think would be beneficial in the future. I think obviously the research is pretty beneficial because moving through here and stuff. But the behemoths, like if I put 5 of them in one unit and put them up near the front, their trample would just crush the first line of, you know, depending on what they got in the front. But Any type of elephant, usually, or a large unit with tramples, pretty useful in the game, for sure. Well, either way, so that's the end of this turn as well as the end of this episode. So things starting to kind of heat up a little bit now that Asphoddel's out of the game, and I do feel like everybody's going to kind of turn their attention towards me. So I'm going to reach out to a couple of the other players and see what they're thinking and see what's going on. And I'll gauge myself from there. But thank you guys for joining me. I do hope that you've enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you next time.